do you guys have any rituals, or like, do you do New Year's resolutions? Like, what does New Year look like in your collective brains? Or do you just not care?
I'll be the easiest answer because, like, also I'm the youngest, so I think I don't have as much of an experience with you guys. But New Year's is definitely a toughie. Like, and I think from early on, I realized that unless I had, like, it was easier to fulfill specific goals that I wanted in the year than to make a long-term goal for myself. And I'm saying that, I'm just trying to preface that because I haven't lived as long of a life as you guys. So maybe in the future I will try and make something permanent that I'm working towards throughout the year. But at least for the moment, I've never been able to stick to one thing, let alone a New Year's resolution. And so personally, I don't really see like much hope in it for me, or like much potential.
You feel like if
change.
you made a New Year's resolution, so to speak, it wouldn't be adhered to, so why bother making one? Is that the kind of feel?
Yes, and I think I also remember trying to as like a kid, and then not being able to, and then realizing, wait, a lot of people can't meet these resolutions, and so I guess I don't think there's a real expectation anymore from society, at least. Like, it's almost a meme now to make a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I can relate to that a bit, like in the sense that I probably went the other way around. Like, I made resolutions much more when I was your age than I do now. So I used to do it, and I think I'm fidgeting with things. Like, I'm doing your job.
Contagious.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing your thing today, so I need.
I haven't clicked anything yet.
Yeah, I know. I need to put my pen down. I've dropped it on the bottom of the mic stand, like so many times. Yeah, like, so I used to do that kind of thing. I had a tradition that I used to do right up until I had kids, pretty much. Maybe I even did it a year or two after that, but it's kind of dissipated now. But my big New Year thing that I would do every single year, on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I would sit down with a large sketch pad and I would mind map out.
I didn't even see it go.
Huh?
I didn't even see it.
Me neither. I was like, one moment and then gone the next. I was like,
it just.
Yeah, well, I had one here on the table, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even bring it for these purposes, but when I was using this pad, because I got heaps of these pads hanging around. I was actually looking in here the other day, and I saw there you go, Luke 2017.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
So, so these were the things that were in my life in 2017, and like all of the attached thoughts. And then I would sort of prioritize based on that. Like, what do I want more of in my life? What do I want less of in my life? I do the 80-20 analysis. What are the 20% of the things that give me 80% of the positive results that I like? What are the 20% of the things that are giving me 80% of the negative emotions in my life? And how do I optimize those two things? I would do that every year. But I think there is such a thing as a momentum in one's life. And I'm at the place now where I do regularly make new commitments, like, you could call them resolutions, but I don't make New Year's resolutions, right? Like, it's just when there is a resolution that my life needs, I will just add it, arbitrarily. I don't care if it's the 3rd of September. It's my life needs this thing in it, so I'm going to add this thing now. Like, I don't see any point in waiting for a specific time.
I was thinking that before you started listening. Like explaining your position is just like, if you think that a specific date or an event is going to help, like, it won't.
Yeah, that's right. That's
like,
right.
you need to be motivated outside of the fact that it's, I made a promise on January 1st. Like, no, like, you don't care. You just think you do. Like,
That's interesting, in the sense that I don't know if this is the same for other people, but in my mind, I imagined January 1st or December 31st making a New Year's resolution. Now less of a, I did that on the New Year, so therefore I have to complete it this year. And more of the idealistic, well, all this stuff happens in the old year, and I would like for it to change in the new year. And so this is my resolution of what I would like to do.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is that they're still the same stuff because it's a new year, but nothing has changed.
Yeah.
And that's the rub, I guess. I wonder what you guys think.
Yeah, it's definitely a touchstone. Like, as in, it's a great time of year to reflect, and like what League does. Like, I think that would be very beneficial if I could be bothered. But I feel like I critically analyze what I'm doing during
As
the
you
year
do it?
anyway. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, this isn't working. Like, it's not something that I just grind through if I don't have to. Like, I'll just go, oh well, what can I do better, and just change it. But yeah, I don't know.
I think you're very good at that, though. I think that is probably something that you have really, like, you don't have a need for it so much because you are good at doing that.
Yeah, it's hard. I feel like I was looking at yours going, heck, I don't think mine would be that busy. But I feel like if I actually mapped it out, it probably would be. And like, I don't know, it's hard keeping track of all of the stuff you do.
I think you should absolutely do it, even if it's just to demonstrate to yourself just what your life looks like. I think it's very helpful. So, like I said, I haven't done that for a really long time, but the main reason for that is that I am very conscious of my life right now and what's in it and what I want in it and what isn't in it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel the need to do that, but my life pretty much spins completely around personally, obviously my family, my health, the health of my family, like those kind of like personal aspects. My business is where every other part of my energy goes. And for ministry, like this podcast is it. And so those like 3 areas to my life is where everything exists. And I'm fairly conscious of what's in all of those areas, so I don't have to do it anymore. But when I was younger, I feel like everything was very nebulous, and I needed that to
like rein it in.
Yeah, because I've always been bad at saying no to things. If there was a cool idea, I'm just going for it. Just jump in both feet. And full commitment to it.
Yeah.
And you reach a certain point in your life where it's kind of like, okay, I've now found my limits, and I know that if I keep committing to things, that means other stuff breaks, and so you have to start going back the other way. And I feel like the first 25 to 30
Just
years.
like loading the cart up.
Yeah.
And you're like, that can go.
That's right. That's exactly it. I think the first 25 to 30 years is exactly that. It is how much load can you put yourself under and find where your limits are. Figure out the couple of things that really move the needle and you really care about, and then you spend the next 10 years correcting for that imbalance and getting all the stuff out of the cart that gets you back down to focusing on the things that you are truly most passionate and most equipped to do.
Yeah. I think that's challenging though, at least for myself, because I have lots of things that I don't know. I like to be busy-ish.
Yes.
Around quiet times as well, but I like to have my finger in a lot of pies, and I like to keep myself as diverse as possible. I don't like limiting. I don't want to say limit myself, but it feels like limiting myself. If I was like, I'm only going to do this for the next year, I'd be like, ugh. But I do find the same thing, like you've got this priority list of things, so like work, church, family, and then things like gliding, the fire brigade, like things that I love doing, but they become very peripheral, and it's like you're just living life, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have a Sunday that's free. Oh, and the clouds look good. All right, I'm going flying. Like, like it's just balancing everything, and things just live on the back burner, and you just keep like a mental tab of what's there, and occasionally you just pull it out and play with it and put it back there where you focus on the important stuff.